Yeah, really proud of our guys. Really good road win going in that environment. I think was a really good challenge for our guys early in the year, and really felt like our guys handled the crowd noise, snap count, communication. All the things that maybe you're really focused on going into your first road game. I thought they did a good job of that. Really proud again of our offensive line. To go in that game and have no sacks. Versus a group that's done a really good job against us last 2 years. I think they've got two talented defensive ends, and our OL did a really good job there, and also limited them to 2 tackles for loss. Overall, I was really proud of our balance that we had offensively. 221 yards rushing, 391 yards passing. Those would be numbers we'd love to have every week. And then really proud of our explosive plays. We had 13 explosive plays, 5 in the running game, 8 in the passing game. And again, we had 4 long drives. I think we had 4 touchdown drives over 70 yards. So those are a lot of the positives. The biggest negatives were the 2 turnovers and, just not efficient enough on third down. And so I think right now we're pretty explosive, but just need to become a little bit more efficient, and I believe we will. After 3 games, kind of as Coach Sweeney looks at it, the first quarter of our regular season is over. I really feel like we're ahead offensively of where we were last year. Just going back and looking at everything. I love our balance. That's a big thing for us is to really have good balance. I think, somewhere around 250 yards rushing and about 290 through the air. So I hope we can keep that up, and then also really pleased with our explosive plays so far through 3 games. With that being said, we're still leaving some plays out there, and so I think that's even more encouragement for our guys of where we can be when we really hit some of those plays that maybe we're missing. And like I said earlier, just need to be a little bit more efficient on third down and eliminate the turnovers. But really the quality of a good team is how you improve every week. I feel like we've been doing that, and our guys will continue to do that. Looking ahead this week to Charlotte, really turning on the video, first thing that pops out is I'm really impressed with their defensive personnel. Very athletic. I know they're a relatively new program, but for people that haven't seen them, their personnel will remind you of App State when we played App State. I mean, these guys are very athletic. I know defensively they're currently number 5 in Division I in sacks, and they have a very talented defensive end, number 5. Alex Highsmith has 4 sacks already on the year, and is a guy that we'll definitely have to be sure we know where he is. But, as always, it's all about us. It's about our preparation and our improvement. And I know our guys, I really like where our guys' mindset, where they are mentally. And I know they'll come out this week ready to go to work and ready to improve. So with that, I'll answer any questions.
When you're diagnosing the lack of efficiency on third down, what's the top of the list?
Yeah, it's really spread out. There will be a time where maybe we've got the route there and we're ready to throw it, and maybe we give a little bit of a leakage and the quarterback has to kind of move out of his pocket a little bit, or maybe it's a good throw and we don't have a great release, or maybe we get a great release and we're just off a little bit on the throw. So really it's not one area. To be good on third down, everybody has to do their job and execute. And so I think it's really just, the mindset of everybody taking ownership and doing a better job overall on third down and being able to execute the plays that are there. But it really just hasn't been one thing. It's been spread out really among all the groups.
Trevor's interceptions, I think it was you who said Justin needed to help him on one, help him a little bit more than Tony did. T was trying to say on another one that felt like it was his fault.
Yeah, I think the one on the sideline, T didn't win his matchup and didn't separate as much as he would have liked to. That kind of caused the ball to have a chance to get tipped. And then the second one, to the field, Trevor just made a poor decision and, should have thrown the ball outside to Overton and, tried to fit that ball in that small window. And sometimes when you have an arm like Trevor has, he's been used to getting away with a lot of those throws, and, you have to get back out there and kind of go through it and learn from it. But, I'm very pleased with Trevor. I mean, I think it's easy to watch a whole game and pick out one or two bad plays, but I think he has more passing yards in 3 games than any quarterback at Clemson in about the last 8 or 9 years. So he's doing a great job. It's just, a few of the decisions, he needs to improve on, and he will as the season goes. I think it's easy sometimes to maybe think that you start from where you ended last year after 15 games, but as a coach, what is, when you've played 15, when you're in that 15th game, you've had a lot of games back to back of experiences and learning opportunities, and you're in a different place than you are week 2 or week 3. You truly have to start over, and that's where we are. So, I got no concerns on that.
Jeff, it's got to be kind of old hat around here. I know you don't want to hear that because you keep throwing out these wide receivers. They keep impressing the media and the fans. You're looking at a guy like Frank Ladson now who makes the catch like he did on Saturday night. What's it like to be able to just continue to look down your depth chart on the wide receivers and know that you've got guys you can throw out there no matter what?
Yeah, I was proud of Frank. I know early in the game we tried to target him a couple of times on some deep balls, and we're not able to connect. But for him to go in there, that was a great catch that he made right there in the back of the end zone. And that's something you have to remind yourself as a coach too. Whenever I went back to, the Dome there, that was my 4th or 5th time that I've been there. But we had a lot of freshmen and sophomore that was their first time there. And these freshmen, that was their first road game, first experience in that. And so to see him go make that play, I think is really big for his confidence moving forward. And and then also for a guy like Ches to be able to get in there and have a big touchdown run at the end, was really encouraging. A guy like Davis Allen, I believe, getting his first catch, out there. It's just to go with some of the more experienced guys that we have, to see those freshmen getting in there and making plays just really encourages you from a team standpoint and, depth as the season goes.
For a guy like Ches that's kind of having to get acclimated to not playing after being a high school star, what does that mean for him to pop a long one like that early in the year? Does it probably mean a lot as far as practice? It just makes things better?
Yeah, I think the first thing it reminds those guys is I think that was his first play of the game. He got in there right there at the end, and that was his first play, and it went all the way to the end. So that's what we tell those guys. Sometimes as young players, as they're having to kind of wait their turn and kind of earn more reps, we tell them, hey, the reps you get, make those count. Don't count how many reps you get, just make those reps that you get count. And he did. He had, I think, one rush for a big-time touchdown run. But to me, what stood out was seeing our guys on the sideline, seeing how excited they were for him to go in there and score. And then obviously everybody sees Ches, but the other guys you don't see is, you got some freshman offensive linemen that are in there blocking for him on that touchdown run. So that's a great experience for those guys as well. And, really just, great overall. But yeah, there's a lot of those young guys that we're going to count on at some point. We've kind of gotten used to playing a lot of games throughout these seasons. So, we kind of know that it's going to be a long year and there's going to be more opportunity as it goes. It just, this year's different. We've started off with 3, big games right out the bat. I think someone said first time since 2005 that we've played 3 Power 5 teams, to start the season. So 2 ACC teams and Texas A&M right off the bat. As the season goes, those guys will get more opportunities. But I've been real pleased with what those young guys have done so far when they've gotten in there.
Jeff, what does Amari's touchdown run do for his confidence? It's one thing to be back.
Yeah.
It's another thing to know that you're back the
Yeah.
same way you were before.
That was huge, and I think for him, how hard he's worked. He's during those long rehab sessions when you're in there and it's just you and the trainer, and you're in there early in the morning or late at night. You're thinking about those moments that are coming up, and for him to be able to go out there and do it on that stage was really big for him, his confidence, and then also just for our entire offense, to get Amari back and to have him. And we've got obviously a lot of talented guys, but Amari's a different type of player for us too in that wide receiver room that brings a lot. Everybody was very happy for him. And like you said, it wasn't just that he got back to being well enough to play, But really to get back, I mean, I was thinking about his long runs he had against Florida State, outrunning guys. I mean, and that's what I told him when he got back to the sideline. I said, hey, welcome back. You're ready to go.
Do you feel like some of the criticism, even some of the announcers were talking about Trevor being out of sync, is a little undeserved for people expecting to see the Trevor that they saw against Alabama this early with new receivers and
Yeah.
guys?
I mean, I think it's natural anytime that you put yourself in a position being a quarterback and being a talented guy, a high-profile guy, you're going to – I mean, he's going to – good Lord willing, he stays healthy, he's going to play for a long time, and he's going to be analyzed and critiqued for a long time. I think the biggest thing for him and for us is to realize that really anything that's being said outside really doesn't mean anything. It's really all about keeping things inside and working to improve and getting in the meeting room and learning and really knowing the truth of what's going on and not getting caught up. And I think it's one thing that Coach Sweeney's done a great job of since he got to Clemson is really, focusing on us and kind of going from inside out and not getting caught up on what's on the outside. And, and I think our guys do about as good a job as you can, obviously with social media and everything out there. I mean, these guys are going to hear things and see things just as you will as coaches. But, I think that Trevor's a very confident. He's got a quiet confidence about him. He knows that we're very confident in him and his abilities. And I think as coaches, we're confident in what we're doing in our process. And, I think our history speaks pretty well for that.